What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back with another player ratings video. Unfortunately, we have lost 2-1 at the King Power Stadium against Leicester on the weekend, which made a lot of Spurs fans very unhappy. And you know, kind of the circumstances we lost under were not great, weren't they? But yeah, you want to tell us a bit about the game?
Well, yeah, obviously it's another lead that we've given away, and for the third consecutive away game, I think we've now given away a one goal or a lead that we able to gain. I thought the performance in general wasn't the worst we've seen, but again, worrying trends in this squad of just not being able to hold out and having problems when we've taken the lead, and also just a bit in the last 10 minutes we crumbled a bit, which is really hard to see. And you know, obviously there are question marks over whether of this playing squad. Pochettino saying before the game that he doesn't think this is the best squad he's ever had at Spurs, which is I thought was a really worrying thing for him to say. I'm not sure why he's saying things like that. And I thought the game in general, I thought, especially at 1-0, the performance wasn't bad at all. I thought we were the better team probably, and you know, we were quite comfortable, but again we just couldn't get over the line. But yeah, let's get into the player ratings.
Yeah, just a bit before that, I thought, to break down the game a bit, I think it was a game that both teams had a lot of chances. It's not a game where we kind of dominated and we should have won. I thought the first 10 minutes, Leicester absolutely came out the blocks firing with many chances, and then we kind of took control of that game. We scored, and then I thought Leicester came back and started peppering us, but then when Leicester got that equaliser, we came on top. So it was a very topsy-turvy game, which kind of both teams will probably say they could have got more out of it. Well, obviously Leicester won, but I thought Tottenham probably could have got more out of it. And if we would have won or drawn, Leicester probably would have said they could have got more out of it. So probably
Leicester away is always going to be a difficult game, and but you know, when how we've been playing for the past few years, you go to Leicester always expecting a win. That's how we've been playing. But you've got to give them credit because they've clearly got a good team going there. They've got some good players. No, it's not going to be easy for anyone to go away to Leicester and get a win, but you've got to be disappointed again, the fact that we had a lead and we lost it.
All right, well, let's get into the player ratings. We're starting with PAULO GAZZANIGA in for the Hugo Lloris, whose wife was giving birth on the weekend. So we gave him a 6. I thought it was good display by Gazza. He made some nice saves, but he did drop that clanger for that Leicester offside goal.
It was offside. No need for the air quotes.
It was offside, but you know, he shouldn't be doing a clanger like that.
Yeah, it was. Obviously, that was a really bad moment for him. But other than that, yeah, it was a pretty solid performance. I thought, especially there was a good save from Vardy in the second half he made, and he had to make quite a few routine saves. I'd made nothing. I don't think he made any saves which was out of the ordinary.
The one from Vardy was probably the standout one.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Probably. But I thought I think he's always better. You know, he's like coming for crosses. He's better in the air than I think someone like Hugo is. But where Hugo stands out between Gazza is his reactions and his reflexes. Yeah. So I thought it was a display which didn't do his chances any bad, but again, that one hairy moment, he's got to raise question marks.
Yeah, and he couldn't do anything for Maddison's goal and couldn't do anything for the first goal either. So
no, well, the first goal probably not, only because he was Pereira was so close to him, but who had to. Great reactions if he was going to save that.
Yeah.
Next up, SERGE AURIER, we gave him a 7. I thought overall good display from him. I think going forward he was giving the Leicester defence a lot of questions to answer.
Got caught out a bit in defence though.
That was the question mark around his performance. Obviously, defensively he wasn't the best. Their equaliser, you know, came down his side where there was a ball in the box, which he was unable to stop. So you got to have question marks there. But I thought going forward he was a threat all day long, and he put the ball in the back of the net for the second goal, but got ruled out from VAR, which is a massive shame for him. And he had a few other chances where he flashed the ball across the face of goal, and any touch would have put it in, but unfortunately he couldn't get an assist. But I thought another positive display from him overall, but obviously improvements to be made.
Yeah, so obviously he had that goal that was wrongly ruled out, and then a few minutes later he had another similar chance which he blazed wide, which I thought he could have done better with. But all in all, I thought a very good display from SERGE, apart from getting caught out a couple of times at the back. Moving on to Toby Alderweireld, we gave him a 6. Not the kind of performance we're used to seeing from Toby, especially this season. You didn't see many of his crossfield balls, his Toby pings, and I think he got caught out a couple of times as well. But apart from that, I think it was a pretty solid display.
Yeah, I think he attempted those long balls over the top quite a few times, but they weren't coming off for him this time. Defensively, Vardy gave him a tough time. He did give him a tough time, but I think he dealt with it better than Jan did. which we were getting onto Jan. We also gave him a 6. I think there are a few moments where he was a bit sloppy. I felt he got caught out by Vardy. And he is starting to worry me a tiny. Maybe he just needs to get into the season, but he seems to be a bit slow off the blocks a lot of the time.
I picked up on that a week or so ago, and I think Vertonghen really needs to step up his game this season, because he's kind of reverting back into those performances that he put in at the later years of AVB and Tim Sherwood eras. It's not as bad as that yet, but it's kind of going back that way kind of thing, and he really needs to step up his game, and I'm worried that the contract issues are not kind of subconsciously playing with his head.
I don't know if it's contract issues. I don't know. He is 32, 33. Maybe age is catching up with him. I hope I'm wrong. He says he's never felt better, so maybe he just needs to get. Maybe he needs to just get into the season, and maybe once he starts playing game after game, he'll start improving. I don't think it was a terrible performance by any means, but it wasn't.
But it's not those commanding performances that Jan Vertonghen puts in.
You never see Jan like stride forward like he used to do. He hasn't done one of those in a while. Step into midfield, causing problems for the opposition team. He seems to be content just staying at the back, playing it across the back four, not taking any risks. And I feel like sometimes Vardy was nipping in ahead of him, and he was giving away fouls. And as I say, he did get a 6 because his performances. We just expect more from him, don't we, from Jan Vertonghen?
Exactly, that's the thing. Well, let's move on to Danny Rose. We gave him a 7. Loving that from Danny Rose. Absolutely high-end performance. I thought it was high energy, putting in like rough challenges that we love to see from Danny Rose. He was giving their right winger no space, and I thought it was a really good display. And attacking wise as well, I thought he was marauding up and down that left hand side like we like to see Danny play.
But again, that final ball still lacking a bit, which is very frustrating.
That's true.
Which he needs to. I don't know. He's used to be quite decent going forward, but he seems to have lost that in his game a bit.
I think he's getting into those spaces. He's just not putting in the good balls that he used to.
He was unlucky not to get a penalty, in my opinion. I thought he actually could have got a penalty quite easily on another day. If the ref gives that, I don't think it's being overturned or anything. So he was unlucky in that sense. I thought, again, I agree with you. A good display from Danny. Definitely in the right direction, giving his early performances this season. But yeah, nothing more to add there. Next up, we got Harry Winks. We gave him a 7. I thought really good display from him. I thought he had a fantastic game, especially in the first half. I thought he was running the show. Leicester found it really hard to deal with him. And again, improvement on his early performances for this season. I thought he was backing up his performance from midweek, where he played really well again, and it's nice to see Winks stepping up his game.
He kind of just picked up where he left off from Greece. I thought start of the season everyone was kind of berating Winks, saying what does he actually do for the team? All he does is pass sideways and go backwards, but you know, he's answered his critics, and I think he's really performing really well now.
He's starting to I agree with that. Yeah.
Moving on to Moussa Sissoko, we gave him a 6. A bit of a Jekyll and Hyde performance from Moussa Sissoko, because I thought he was being a busybody in the middle, but then, you know, just Moussa Sissoko, just stray passes and just being really frustrating. And I think the performances this season, Moussa Sissoko, not really the performances that we saw last season.
I don't know. I thought he was okay.
Okay, exactly. Like last season, he was brilliant.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. I think he was. This game, he put in a decent display. He did get taken off after 70 minutes. I think either he was getting tired or Poch didn't think he was having a great game, one or the other. But then we brought on Wanyama, it didn't really help much. In fact, went the opposite direction.
I don't get that substitution as well, but when we talk about Pochettino, we'll talk about that.
But yeah, I thought he was a big part of us gaining control in that midfield, which I did think we had. When, you know, Tielemans was very quiet. We didn't see much of him throughout the game. But I thought, again,
quality on the ball is the problem.
That's always been the problem with Sissoko. He just doesn't. He's never. I don't know if it's probably too late for. He's now 30 years old now. He's never going to learn it if he doesn't have it now. So that's it with Sissoko. You get what you get. You got to give and take with his qualities, and what he gives you in power and pace on the ball and breaking the lines with his dribbling, you'll lose with quality on the ball. And that's what it is with Sissoko. It's always been that, even last season.
Yeah, you're right.
Next up, Ndombele. We gave him a 4. Really wasn't fantastic from by and large. Really quite disappointing display. Really sloppy in the ball like he was at the beginning in midweek. Didn't really get into the game. I felt like defensively he was alright, to be fair to him. I don't think he was that bad, but I think on the ball, which is what we got him for, those dribbles and his passing was a bit sloppy, and he just needs to get used to the Premier League and get used to the team, because he's struggling a bit at the moment.
For me, it always looks like Ndombele is so leggy. And especially against Leicester, I thought it looked like he was knackered from the first 5 minutes, which was really puzzling for me. But having said how poor he was, there were moments of brilliance in there from Ndombele. There were absolute moments, striding past a few players, but on a whole,
he's got a trick on him.
He does. He looks like a good player, and I think when he gets to the pace of the Premier League, he'll be absolutely brilliant. But I think he's struggling to keep up with the game at the moment, and I think that he just loses the ball way too often.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those cases you need a bit of patience. Obviously, people in this day and age, they just want everything now. They want the players to come in and settle in straight away. For a lot of the players, especially at Pochettino sides, it does take them a while to settle in. And it's very rare that players in the Pochettino system hit the ground running. So I always expected a player like Ndombele, especially a large transfer fee, young player, only 22, and coming from the French league, was always going to take a bit of time to.
Do you think we're expecting too much too soon for him?
If you're expecting him to be the best Premier League midfielder straight away, then yeah, you are expecting too much too soon. It's all about just giving him a bit of time to settle in, get used to how Spurs play, get used to the Premier League, and then we're going to see the real Ndombele. Saying that, we have seen flashes. I don't think it's been all bad since Ndombele's come, but he hasn't had the best start to his Spurs career, that's for sure. And I know Spurs fans are expecting a lot of him. I think you can already see there's a player there. You just got to get a bit of patience on him.
I agree. Moving on to Erik Lamela, we gave him an 8. Our man of the match, I thought he was absolutely sensational. I thought it was criminal to take him off so early. He was our best player, our best attacking outlet. Great through ball for that goal. That Sonny, and then put it into KANE. I thought it was absolutely sensational. He was providing so much for us attacking wise, going into those crunching tackles, pressing high up the pitch, and providing quality as well, and that's what we love to see from Erik Lamela.
Yeah, I thought he had a great first half. Obviously I think he got taken off quite early on, like on the hour maybe, or 65 minutes, something like that, which was really peculiar, unless he was tired or something, or had a knock or something to that effect.
He was our best player by a long way as well.
Yeah, I thought he was having a really good game, and I tweeted out at half time, has Lamela been our best player this season? Because there's an argument for it. Again, more involvement going forward.
Can't see anyone else who will top
And
that.
I thought dribbling wise and on his quality on the ball was all there for all to see. I thought he had a really, really positive performance away at Leicester, and I think we suffered when he went off. And it's really great that he's contributing, because the other attacking players haven't really been up to standard just yet, but he's the one standout player so far this season, I feel. In the creative wise, we're going to need him big time.
Yeah, definitely, and we just need to see this consistently throughout the whole season from him. And yeah, I just think Pochettino was wrong to take him off.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Heung-min Son. We gave him a 5. I thought he was going forward. He was a threat throughout the game. I felt like that. However, whenever he got into those positions which he made for himself, or which other players made for him, he just didn't have that ruthlessness about him in this game. Especially, there was a chance near the beginning of the second half to make it 2-0. Really, really good chance which he put wide. And there was a number of opportunities where he was either one-on-one the defender, or he had a chance to get a shot off, and he just wasn't able to do so. And that was very frustrating. Obviously, he was involved in the offside, which VAR ruled out for our second goal, which was very, very frustrating from a fan's point of view.
The hairs on his arm were offside, you know what I mean?
I think the VAR camera ruled that he was about 1.3 millimeters offside or something ridiculous like that. And I do believe VAR, the reason I do believe they got it wrong, and the reason I believe they got it wrong is because you can't, the frame rate of the camera is not specific enough to have such marginal call, to rule on such marginal calls. So there's about a 30 centimeter margin for error for when the player passes the ball to when he releases it, to when he touches the ball, to when it's released. There's about a 30 centimeter margin for error. So when you're talking about millimeters, it's impossible for VAR to tell. So it shouldn't really be ruling on those decisions, in my opinion. It's a bit ridiculous. I know Spurs have benefited from VAR in the recent past, but I don't think it's ever been that tight whenever we've benefited. And I think they really have to look at these situations, because it's costing. It obviously cost us a goal.
It's becoming a bit of a farce at the moment.
And it is, and it's ridiculous when you're having like ridiculous decisions which are somehow subjective, not being overturned because of this high bar of intervention. Yet we're sitting in the crowd waiting 3 minutes while they're getting these rulers and they're dissecting these millimeters which they can't even tell is offside, and then they're ending up ruling out the goal because 30 seconds ago someone was a half a millimeter offside. No one wants that. That's not what people want from VAR. the officials and the governing body have to look at how they're using VAR, because I don't think it's VAR's issue. I just think that how they're using it is wrong.
I agree with you completely, but what I want to say about Sonny, great assist for the goal,
Yeah,
back heel for Kane.
Yeah.
Although Kane had a lot to do from there, but it was great to get it into him. But like you said, Sonny was getting in such great positions, but his end product was poor. Apart from that assist, he didn't do anything going forward. I thought he could have done a lot more, but I thought in the second half he was getting into these great positions, kind of like on the left-hand side of the box, inside the box, one-on-one with the defender, like you said, but he was hesitating too much. And just the quality was poor.
I don't think he forced the keeper into any saves.
No, apart from that one early in the second half, didn't he? It was just straight at the keeper kind of thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, we move on to Harry Kane. We gave him a 6. Absolutely sensational goal. How a player can stumble over in the box and finish like that is beyond me. I've never seen a goal like it, have you?
Who's lying down on the ground and somehow able to scoop the ball into the top corner. Unbelievable finish. Only he could probably do something like that. And
Harry Kane doing Harry Kane things, as you Instagrammed out, didn't you?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And for everyone calling him a diver, he could have easily gone down and won a penalty in that box, but his hunger for goals kept him just about stable enough to get the shot off. And I thought, sensational finish, really was. It was just a shame he couldn't follow up with anything further going on in the match. Well, I thought his display was okay, but a moment Sionku was bullying him, I felt. And
Sionku looks a proper player, doesn't he?
I like the look of Sionku, I must say. But he had a good chance of 1-1 on the edge of the box. He had a strike with his left foot. He hit it straight at Kasper Schmeichel, which was really disappointing from him. A player who was so used to having ruthless finishing wasn't able to do so. But I wouldn't put much of the blame on the defeat on him. It was just he had a good display and he got the goal at the end of the day, but he could have done a bit more.
All right, and moving on to Pochettino, we gave him a 4.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
What would you give him?
Maybe a 5 or a 6, yeah.
The reason I'm going to give him a 4 is because I think the way we're setting up at the moment, I think we're giving away too many opportunities. I'm not sure what that is. Is that the fullbacks pressing high up the pitch? Is it the centre-backs not positional? I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. But what I got to say is that I thought we did play well during the game, but the substitutions were awful. Really, really bad. I think bringing Wanyama on at 1-0, absolutely terrible. Pochettino comes out at the back end of last season and being like, Wanyama's pretty much finished at the top level, is what he was saying. And now he brings him on in a pivotal moment, and pretty much Wanyama was at fault for the first goal, and he was the closest man to Maddison for the second goal. So that's a poor decision. He should never have taken off Lamela, what I thought. Lamela was our best player, and I felt he should have brought on Lucas Moura a lot quicker than he did.
I agree with you. The Wanyama substitution didn't work out at all. It was pretty woeful, his performance when he came on. However, look, I'm always hesitant to judge too harshly on managers' substitutions, because there's always circumstances on the bench that we don't know about, and there's always reasons. For example, Sissoko could have had a really bad knock. Yeah. And he had to come off. Who else is going to come on for him? It's going to be Skip or Wanyama. He chose Wanyama. Okay, fair enough. Wanyama didn't work out. The only thing I think that you could really criticise him for was he did wait way too long to bring on Lucas, in my opinion. However, Lucas didn't have a great cameo when he did come on.
He came on with like 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, well, you say he's 4 minutes plus 6 minutes added on time. That's a good 10 minutes. Yeah. But he probably could have brought him on a bit sooner, considering it was 1-1. We were struggling at that time.
But by the time Lucas came on, Leicester were already like back in the game, and they were the team on top. If we bring on Lucas when we're on top, that could cause them a lot more problems.
However, what I would say with Pochettino is, we did concede a few chances, but it's Leicester away. They're quite a good team. They're going to be challenging for the top.
But we're conceding chances every game. It's not just Leicester away.
I know, but I'm saying I'm taking this specific game in context. I thought it's always going to happen early doors away from home against a good team like Leicester. They're going to come at you. They're going to create a few chances. I thought we weren't too overwhelmed. We rode the storm pretty well, and then I think we took control of the game. I thought the midfield three had decent control of the game. I thought indeed Tielemans and Maddison was causing us quite a bit of trouble early doors, but I thought indeed and Tielemans were under control from wings.
It was that Vardy and Maddison that was the problem.
Yeah. And I thought at 1-0, we had control. If anyone was going to get the second goal, it looked like Spurs were going to get the second goal. We did get the second goal at the end of the day, but unfortunately it was ruled out for VAR. We were having all the chances. They did equalise against a run of play, where they got their tails up after our second goal was ruled out for VAR. So then that happened. Even at 1-1, I felt Spurs were the team that looked like they were going to get the second goal. And again, Leicester got another goal, in my opinion, against the run of play, made it 2-1. Once we went 2-1 down, we did lose our heads a bit, I felt. We did lose control of the game, and then we were just, I think, all over the place a bit once we went 2-1 down, and we didn't create a single opportunity, I don't think, once we started losing. So Pochettino does have to look at that, obviously. But I think overall, obviously, I'm bitterly frustrated and annoyed. We lost the lead, and we lost the game again after being again losing 2-1, and I think, obviously, taking our form since January into account, it's extremely worrying. There's no bones about it. Our form is very worrying in the league, and there's no getting away from that. However, if you take this performance in isolation, and if you take this game in isolation, you could say on another day we could end up winning this game, and it's very frustrating that we didn't end up on the winning side. Whether it's a mentality issue or it's just one of those things in football, remains to be seen. Look, obviously, there's a long way to go in the season. A lot of people are panicking. Some people saying Poch out. Some people saying he's taking us as far as we can. Some people saying the squad has a mentality issue. All could be very valid points. Well, remains to be seen. I'm still hoping he can turn it around. I've seen enough from him in the past that we've had starts which have been bad, and he's able to turn it around in October, November time and get the team going. I'm going to wait till then to make any sweeping judgments on his whether he should still be at the club, because I firmly believe he is the man to turn it around. But I can understand people getting worried, because the form, there's no way around it. The form is worrying.
To be honest, I don't think the blame lies with Pochettino with the current form at the moment. I think the blame lies higher than Pochettino. I think it lies with ERIK. I think the problem is that season after the last season at White Hart Lane, we needed investment to push on from there, and we didn't sign. We signed a few players that summer. We didn't sign anyone the next summer, and these are the two summer transfer windows where we really needed to kick on. And Pochettino was calling it for it himself. Get the business done early. Every year he said that, and we failed to do that. And I think this has kind of been a slow burning process, and where we're at the moment.
I hear that. I hear what you're saying, but it's not like Pochettino's made any bones about himself leaving if things aren't right. And I think he could have left. And I don't know if he was that frustrated with the circumstances. I think, quite frankly, he should have left if he believes that he's not being given the tools to improve the team. And for him, in my opinion, what frustrated me about Poch is for him before the game to say this isn't the best squad he's had at Spurs did frustrate me a bit, because I do believe personnel-wise, obviously apart from maybe Kyle Walker when he left, or maybe the right back situation. Apart from that, you would have to say from a midfield standpoint of view, this is the best squad he's had at Tottenham. So I don't know why he's saying this isn't the best squad he's had, because personnel-wise it should be, and he should be excited about the season. He should be excited about the players he has. And if he's not excited about the players he has, how can the fans be excited? And that's what's the frustrating thing about it.
I'll tell you what the problem is. Cast your mind back to when we had our last season at White Hart Lane. There was a very long-term mind at Tottenham. Pochettino was thinking long-term. The whole players were thinking long-term. Everyone was together. Contracts were like 5 years minimum, 4 years minimum, blah, blah, blah. Now, 2 years later, okay, we've got a better squad in terms of who we've got and numbers. But when you're thinking about it subconsciously, you don't know who's going to be here next year. Vertonghen, Eriksen, Toby Alderweireld, Danny Rose. You don't know if any of those four are going to be here next year. And that's got to send messages through to the players as well. Like Harry Kane's probably thinking like, what's going on here? Like, are we actually ever going to win anything? And then probably the whole of the squad are thinking like that as well. So I think mentally the squad is probably in the worst place it's been since Pochettino's taken over.
Which is what he said before. Which is what he said in the summer. Yeah, you're probably right in that sense. You might have a case, but I think it's the manager's job to get everyone motivated. I don't think sacking him would help anything, because it doesn't solve the problem of who's going to be here next year.
I think it's very hard to motivate. Yeah, they can put on an image saying, yeah, we're very motivated, but then subconsciously they could not be you know what I mean? It's very difficult.
But I agree with you, but I don't think it helps them, especially, or us, if they're not motivated and they're not playing to the best of their ability, because who are they, if they want the best club?
But it might not be their choice. It could be a subconscious thing that's going on in the back of their mind without them even thinking about it. It's just unsettling, the whole thing.
Well, then it's just they're only hurting themselves, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I'm not saying they're not doing it on purpose, is what I'm saying.
Well, they need to get refocused then.
Yeah, I agree with you. Anyway,
all right.
We go to Colchester tomorrow for the third round of the League Cup. Yeah. Like, subscribe and comment. We'll have all the content revolving that. And as always, come on, Spurs!